Ever notice how solving a simple problem these days feels like navigating a maze designed to wear you out? Think about it. Canceling a subscription that took 5 clicks to sign up for suddenly requires 20 steps to leave. Or trying to dispute a medical bill that arrives with pages of codes no one ever explains. How about filling out an online form that asks for the same information 3 different ways? And after all that effort, you're still told to wait, call back, or just start all over again. You walk away feeling frustrated, confused, and strangely powerless, as if the system itself is actively pushing back against you. Well, this isn't an accident. What you're experiencing is something that looks a lot like a real-world Rube Goldberg machine. It is a system built with layers of unnecessary complexity where a simple outcome requires an absurdly long chain of steps. A Rube Goldberg machine, originally meant to be a humorous cartoon, performs a basic task through an overly complicated sequence of actions. But when you look closely at modern life especially, in areas like healthcare, insurance, customer service, and corporate systems, you start to realize that many of these systems function exactly the same way. The only difference is, the humor is gone. It's been replaced by stress, delays, and a quiet sense of resignation. When people face these systems, they often assume the complexity is there because the problem itself is just that complicated. Or maybe they think they personally made a mistake somewhere along the way. But in reality, the confusion is built right into the design. And that's where the real story begins. Modern systems are not designed primarily for clarity or ease of use. They're designed around other priorities: incentives, legal protection, cost control, and risk management. And when those priorities take center stage, simplicity becomes optional. Sometimes, it's even undesirable for the system. Let's take healthcare as an example. It's a system that exists to heal people, but it often leaves them completely confused about their coverage, their bills, and who is responsible for what. Patients receive invoices weeks or even months later, filled with cryptic codes, partial payments, and vague explanations. When you call for clarity, you get transferred between departments that don't seem to communicate with each other. This isn't because no one cares. It's because the system itself was built 2 separate roles: shift accountability and reduce any one person's direct responsibility. Insurance systems follow a very similar logic. Policies are written to manage risk on a massive scale, not to be easily understood by individuals. And this complexity acts as a filter. It discourages challenges, slows down claims, and can reduce payouts without ever explicitly denying service. This makes the system legally compliant while still protecting its profit margins. This kind of complexity creates friction, and friction is powerful. The harder something is to question, challenge, or change, the more likely people are to just give up, accept the outcome, or even blame themselves for not understanding it. You see the same pattern in corporate customer service. Those automated menus, long wait times, and repetitive verification steps aren't just inefficiencies. They are tools that are designed to reduce the volume of calls, deflect responsibility, and control costs by completely exhausting the user before a resolution is ever reached. From the outside, it feels broken, but from inside the system, it often works exactly as intended. Many people assume these systems just evolved accidentally, getting messier over time. But more often than not, the complexity is layered on deliberately. It comes from legal requirements, internal safeguards, compliance rules, and financial incentives that reward protection over clarity. Each layer makes perfect sense, in isolation adding a little safety here, some documentation there, reducing risk somewhere else. But over time, these layers stack on top of each other, and the end user is left navigating a machine that no one person fully owns or understands. This explains why it is so hard to find a single person who can fix a problem from end to end. Modern systems are designed to distribute responsibility across different departments, vendors, and platforms. This ensures that no single failure point exists, but it also ensures that no single point of accountability remains. This design protects institutions from lawsuits, financial losses, and damage to their reputation, but it also creates a huge emotional distance between the system and the people it is supposed to serve. When we feel confused by all this, we tend to assume it's because of incompetence, or even malice. But more often, what we're experiencing is something called incentive alignment. The system is simply optimizing for metrics that don't include user satisfaction as a top priority. In our workplaces, this same logic shows up all the time. Employees spend hours on processes that seem pointless, filling out reports no one reads, attending meetings when no decisions are made, or following procedures that just slowed down progress. This happens because these systems often reward compliance and documentation more than they reward actual outcomes. Over time, organizations become machines that are designed to preserve themselves. Any attempt at simplification that might increase risk is resisted, even if it would dramatically improve the human experience. This is why modern life often feels harder, even though we have better technology than ever before. Technology has increased the capabilities of these systems, but it has also increased their complexity. It has allowed for more layers of control, tracking, and optimization to be added. The result is a world where simple actions require us to navigate digital labyrinths, where clarity is replaced by endless policies, and where we, the users, are expected to adapt to the systems rather than the systems adapting to us. Importantly, this doesn't require bad intentions. Most of these systems are built by regular people just trying to do their jobs, meet regulations, and protect their organizations from failure. But when the incentives reward caution, defensiveness, and scalability, complexity becomes the default outcome. Once a system reaches a certain size, simplicity itself is seen as risky. Simplicity removes buffers, and buffers are there to protect the institutions, not the users. This also explains why change is so slow. Removing steps feels dangerous to those inside the system, even if those same steps are causing real harm to people on the outside. For us as individuals, this experience can create something called learned helplessness. It's that feeling that pushing back isn't worth the effort, that the cost of trying to understand the system outweighs any potential benefit. And over time, people stop asking why things are so hard. We just start accepting frustration as a normal part of life. But understanding the Rube Goldberg nature of modern systems can help reframe this whole experience. It shows that your confusion is not a personal failure, and the inefficiency you face is not random. It is the result of systems designed to prioritize their own stability, protection, and cost control over clarity and ease of use for you. The takeaway here is not that all systems are evil or broken. It's that modern complexity has a logic, and that logic often serves institutions far better than it serves individuals. Once you see this pattern, you'll start noticing it everywhere. In healthcare, insurance, at work, in customer service, and in any kind of bureaucracy. The frustration becomes less mysterious because you finally understand the machine you're interacting with. Modern systems don't confuse us because they forgot to be simple. They confuse us because their complexity protects them. And recognizing the truth changes how you interpret your everyday frustrations, not as chaos, but as a deliberate design. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And do you forget to like and subscribe for more content that helps make sense of our complicated world.